We're rolling.
Are we rolling on both?
Smackety crackety doo. Hi everyone. Will I am here.
Oh, good.
I'm here with Dom.
Dom.
And I'm also here with Mr. H Films, TimH Films.
That was the second time you got it.
Tim Hot Kite. And today we're talking about Civil War. Dun, 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 dun. You realize what that theme is, right? I'm like, does he know that that's the Army song?
No, that's
the
Avengers Civil War theme song.
Yeah. So we're here to talk about Civil War, a movie that is not out yet. People are kind of excited about it.
Everyone's excited about everyone who's in it except for Captain America.
Yes.
Like everyone's like, yay, Black Panther, yay, Spider-Man, yay, Iron Man's in it.
Civil War, Captain America. Like, you're already painting... This could have been such an interesting experiment with the Marvel movies. Where if Marvel had done the Pokemon Red-Blue thing with this, and did Civil War, Iron Man, Civil War, Captain America... Now, okay, that sounds like a ridiculous idea, because it's just like, how the hell would you ever pitch that? But if anyone could do it...
I was about to say, if any place was going to make that...
If any studio could do it, it's Marvel right now, 2016.
Yo, don't give them ideas.
Yeah.
Well, because you know what? How that would end up working, though, is that you'd have 40 minutes of the movies the same, with just like some different stuff. But
more or less.
Honestly, I feel like I would still show up.
I
would still go to both of them.
This is how much the Marvel brand have dominated.
It's
like, I'd still pay for it.
And then you would vote with your dollar, whichever made more money, that's who wins in the sequel.
Go more than once.
Oh God, Marvel, please hire me. I thought that would have been an interesting idea, but instead it kind of paints it Team Cap, and I'm Team Iron Man, more or less.
I mean, well, here's the thing. I feel like the journey in the comic book is Cap realizes he's wrong.
Right.
Which would make sense for a movie arc.
I think that a big part of Civil War is they're both doing the opposite of what they really should be doing. Iron Man is this capitalist. He's made money off the backs of thousands and thousands of people, yet somehow he believes in government regulation. Whereas Captain America is all about, like, individual freedoms and, the plight of the everyman, and it's the everyman who's at risk here by having superheroes fight each other completely unregulated.
But it's not unjustified. Where they've purposefully brought both of them, it makes complete sense. Even just since Age of Ultron.
And I'm glad you mentioned Age of Ultron. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
No, don't worry, no, I was just gonna compliment that point. Like,
Thanks.
I think...
No, continue.
That was a great
I was just
point.
gonna compliment Dom. I feel like I understand both their journeys, like, because I feel like in Winter Soldier, we kind of see that Cap has this kind of, like, America with no government regulation, kind of, like, old school American, which makes sense based on the fact that he's technically from the 40s. Right. And then Tony, who, sure, in Iron Man 2, he was against the government telling him what to do with his suits, but over the course of the movies, we've seen that he's seen what's out there, and, like, Ultron was him trying to protect the world. Like, a lot of people have, like, criticized that. Like, this isn't the Iron Man I know, but I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I buy his transition. It's a journey over the course of...
Totally. They haven't brushed over that. The events of the first Avengers mattered for Iron Man in everything we've seen him in since. It's the reason he does what he does in Ultron. It's the reason he was how he was in Iron Man 3. Mm-hmm. Like, they really carried through with that, and this absolutely makes sense as, like, the next step. I kind of forget about Iron Man 2, that was a huge part of the movie. Right. Was they wanted the suit.
But you know what, he was also not giving into it. It's not that he has anything against the government, it's against who's regulating him.
Right,
and I think that's something he's sort of forgotten in this movie, because he has that same line where he says, I believe he says, I'm game, I want to be regulated no matter what form that takes. And it's like, well, shouldn't you be a little bit more careful about who you hand the keys to? Right. And now that's something that could be an anti-Team Iron Man thing, where it's like, Cap says the capable hands are most still our own. Like, I don't think I should have this power forever, but these guys can't help us.
Right.
For now.
These
guys don't know any better than us.
Ross.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're like,
who created Abomination to stop the Hulk.
Maybe we don't hand that guy the most powerful people in the world.
The filmmakers came out and said that they hope that there are people who agree with Iron Man, and I think this movie becomes infinitely more interesting if both people have a point. Then you have an interesting conflict, and something remarkably complex for a blockbuster where we're used to good guys and bad guys. You know what I mean? To have, like, two people with just ideological differences, and for them to both be coming from, like, understandable places.
Yeah. There's something about hashtags that no matter what, anything being hashtagged, it could be, like, literally, like, hashtag no diseases. Like, it could be for the best thing ever, and I'm still like, hashtags! Just hashtagging everything. I should just hashtag and I'm ready to eat. Hashtag food. Hashtag air's good. Hashtag summer. Like, I don't like... it is cool where in a big movie like this you can have people identifying with both sides.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it's called Captain America, but you have a whole entire, arguably half of the audience saying, no, I'm with Iron Man on this one.
But that's my
neat.
point. Why is this Captain America? I still think they did this movie too early. There's a really great Stark image. There's a really great Stark image where it's like Civil War, like what we expected and what we got. And of course, okay, typical meme formula. But it's true, because Civil War was like every Marvel character, and then it cuts to the scene where they're fighting on an airbase. There's like 6 of them on either side.
Right.
And it's like, is this a Civil War?
Captain America family dispute.
Yes.
It's a fight in a like parking lot somewhere. And here's the thing. It's like, I get it. Like,
Civil War.
I said it before. Like it has always been the weakest marketing element of that movie. Is the one-on-one fights look great, whereas indeed weirdly that big epic final shot is the kind of weak element. But at the same time, I'll take that any day over like, because here's the thing, it's like
movie.
Bloated wouldn't even come close if you try to match the Marvel comic book. Like, I would rather have this version where I have a genuine understanding of all 10 characters. I've spent at least 1 or 2 movies with them, and I get what's happening.
Well, Civil War, it's a story that unfolds in like 13, 20 different books.
Oh, yeah.
So that would be like telling the movie through like 15 or 20 different movies.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is like it would have to be like an entire phase.
Yeah.
You'd have to do like...
Oh, absolutely. Which I would have preferred.
Cool idea, yeah. I've reread it 3 times maybe. You know, I would read Cap's trade paperback, I would read Iron Man's trade, I would read Spider-Man's trade, I would read the Civil War just regular, like 5-issue whatever, and I'd always end it and kind of be like, I do not know who's right.
Or Iron Man's team typically tends to have more villains on it. And it's like, oh, I agree with Iron Man, but like, they actually even do that in the movie where you see Crossbones or whatever, and he's in there and he's fighting Cap, so you assume that he's on Iron Man's team, and it's like, oh, I agree with this guy, but I don't like the people he's rolling with. And that puts you in an interesting ideological position, which I feel like is more challenging than your typical comic book movie, and that's got me pretty fucking psyched about this.
This is literally the only blockbuster you could do that with, because we've had so much time. I mean, it's like a TV show. It's like once you get into like the 4th season of something, and you understand everywhere that everybody's been and when they're having an argument and what's loaded behind that. Like, that's the only reason this is even working, where you can have the ideology.
Well, it's funny that you say that. This is the only reason that it's working, is that we've built on it. So how would you talk about Superman Batman? Because it's the exact opposite, where it's just like, oh, this is all on the cultural capital of these 2 characters, and nothing on that we've built so far. And it's funny, and they also actually have similar themes.
Can I quickly, this is something I wanted to say about the trailer. It seems like such a silly decision to make footage from the other movies look like security footage. I just don't understand that. We've all seen these movies like plenty of times. If you saw the trailer more than once, you recognize that shot of New York.
Our videographer died. His name was Joss Whedon. He died. It's like he was grabbing that shot.
I'm gonna choose to believe though that in the movie, like, that stuff's just placeholders more for as selling the movie. Yeah. It's like remember this shot from that and this from this.
The composition of a trailer is very different than the composition of a movie.
See, that's like that thing too. What was the movie that just came? Was it the Ghostbusters trailer and the fucking Jungle Book trailer and Jurassic Park, where they do this thing where it's like, it doesn't ruin the trailer for me, but I'm just tired of it at this point, with like the piano version of the popular theme where it's just like do 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 do.
Oh yeah.
It's like, it's not bad. It's not a stupid decision. I'm just like, I'm done. Yeah. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
It's the kid voice. Yeah, we're done.
Like,
it's over.
Okay.
Ultron. That was the line. Yeah. That was the line where it was like, I kind of liked the no strings, right? That was weird. It was weird to use that in like a superhero movie kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, inappropriate song done in a different way. Suicide Squad did the same thing with I Started a Joke by the Bee Gees. It's just, look, this is why I'm a Marvel fanboy, is that the Ultron thing of no strings, very related to Ultron. It's like he's a puppet, he's off the strings, and now he's doing his own thing. I Started a Joke by the Bee Gees has the word joke.
Yes. I started the Joker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the entire opening to the latest Batman Superman trailer was just like in-jokes about things that like you only can appreciate based on the pop cultural knowledge.
Exactly.
As opposed to something that works in the movie. When he goes like, we have a bad history in Gotham of people who dress up like clowns. That means nothing in the context of the movie. It's banking on, it's not fair.
Okay.
Because they're literally just using the fact that you know what this
The
is.
Dark Knight Rises.
Okay, so I will say,
Rises.
just to even it out, because I agree with you that line is like, okay, just to in defense of the like, we have a bad history with clowns. Like, where is that line though? Where yes, it's a little unfair. They haven't backed us up. We haven't seen a Joker movie with this Batman yet, so it's a little you're kind of like cashing in before you really.
Right.
Played. We do know that Batman fights the Joker.
Yeah,
we
sure.
know that they've already established, like, and again, it's like, you can't go just on the merit of the narrative of the movie. Like, what we've been told through other promotional stuff, we know that this Batman's been around for a while. Mm-hmm. We know that he's had a Joker before. We know that these other villains have existed before. So it's like, where is that line of it being okay? Where it's like, because you could at the same time hear that line and go like, so he's had the Joker, he's already fucked with the Joker, even though we haven't seen him yet. This is interesting that we're starting like mid-timeline for him.
I wasn't a fan of Man of Steel, but I have my fingers crossed that Batman Superman is better because I would want nothing more than that movie to be great.
Absolutely.
We've had that conversation since we were teenagers, where because it's so weird. It's funny our timeline, like. When we've been aware enough to be aware of marketing and when these big movies are coming out. We were an age where, like, around 15, 16 when, like, Iron Man was announced or whatever. Even like, Dark Knight came out. We were 15, 2008? We've been around enough to, like, see these huge trailers come out and have unbelievable expectation. I mean, you push it to Spider-Man 3. And we've been aware enough of it. It's not like we were kids and just being, like, just showing up and going. And you and I have had that conversation so many times where it's like, I don't want it to be bad.
Absolutely.
Like, I would fucking love to tell you, like, I really don't think it's going to be. I think that trailer looks awful, and then see the movie and be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Why would you want to be right?
Oh, I'm glad I just spent $14 for nothing.
Yeah.
You're not like a real movie lover. If you go into anything wanting to dislike it, that's such the opposite of what you should feel for any media. At the same time, you shouldn't go into things wanting to like it. Because, again, that will also tinge... if it's not up to your expectations, you'll think you hated it. And then you'll go back years later and watch it, and you'll be like, oh, okay, that was actually just not super great.
Yeah, sure.
The third Batman movie, I really wanted to go in liking it, and I just didn't. And I watched it years later, and I was just like, that wasn't terrible.
Not bad. No.
I should say the Nolan Batman movies, not the third Batman. Although I do love the Schumacher Batman movies.
Yeah.
Different video.
But
to bring it back to...
we'll make it.
The money.
Yeah, exactly.
I was one of the people who said, when they said that they were doing the Avengers, I was one of the people who said, too many things in one movie, it's probably not going to work. And I was proven wrong. And so I think it's one of those things where it's like, they changed the game.
Yeah.
And they just changed what we could expect from their movies, which means that now as an audience we're spoiled.
Right.
You need to throw Spider-Man in because you need to keep upping up the ante.
Yeah.
And this is where eventually I do understand the argument that at some point this will cave in on itself, because there comes a point when you can't keep going, and that's fine. Nothing should last forever. Everything should go in phases. Yeah. But I think we're at a point now where, like, we need to remember it's like, hey guys, it's pretty cool. Spider-Man's in a movie with Captain America and all these other people. And I think, because we are living now in a world where the first thing people want to do is go, all the costume's shitty.
You don't like his eyes.
The first thing is to rip it down. Because now we're used to this incredibly high standard from a studio.
There's this big thing in nerd culture wherever, for whatever reason, your nerd dick is only big if you're mean. And, like, you hate things. It's just like, oh, that movie was shit. It's nothing on the Frank Miller comics. Or, like, I didn't like Daredevil. It's like, yeah, no shit, because it's not a comic book. It's a movie, and they had to make it for more people than just, like, you. Ghostbusters came out. People weren't crazy about the trailer.
Yeah, people are being a bit bitchy about that one. Yeah. To a degree that I'm like... Because it's weird, because I'm still moderately excited for it based on the fact that the trailer for Spy wasn't funny. Paul Feig, like, I'll trust in trust in the creatives. Exactly. I'll trust in Bridesmaids and Spy as proof that this will probably be funny. If I'm proven wrong, I'll be proven wrong. Yeah. But I think the fact that it's an all-female reboot must have enhanced the backlash. in addition to
in
addition to that, it also just is another reboot.
Yeah.
Because everyone's acting like, no, it's just because I'm sick of reboots. It's like, well, nothing else got this level
Absolutely.
of backlash.
Well, that's the thing. So there's this concept. If you're not like a white dude, you need to be amazing for people to think you're all right.
Winter Soldier was great.
It was
arguably, like...
Oh god, it was anime as fuck. I loved it.
Yeah,
it was
you
the
were
most
saying
anime
that
thing I've ever seen. I'm like, this is the Winter Soldier just like stopping blades with his arm.
Right.
Like, this is perfect. I love this.
Beautiful, quiet soldier with his mouth covered and
absolutely.
has a fake arm. Yeah, we gotta go here. We just have to.
Okay. Right there.
We gotta go here.
What are you talking about?
Come on, guys.
What the fuck are you doing?
We're gonna go there. Spider-Man, everyone!
Oh.
Goodness gracious! I wasn't trying to like make you realize what I was talking about at all.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw the confusion in your faces, I was like, this could go on.
As far as an introduction, like,
It's great.
Brilliant. And, like, the people who are complaining about, like, his voice or whatever are just the people who don't get what Spider-Man is.
Yeah, I'm
like,
glad they went with the kid. That's definitely what I was
it's
looking
awesome.
for. And as far as his suit, it's a little too bright for me. But I think I was also raised in an age where movie superhero, like X-Men 1, where everyone's suit is black.
Yeah.
Everyone's suit is
Something
black.
I liked about Deadpool was that they went for the fucking yellow.
There's a joke somewhere in like doing an X-Men movie where it's like they're all, instead of the yellow suits, they have the black suits, and everything else yellow in that world is black. Like on
Oh, look, it's a bee. Just like,
just a black
I can't wait to eat this banana.
It's fun to have those conversations when it's fun. But when people are losing their minds, it's the comments are a dark place on a lot of these trailers.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like a kid! Sounds like a kid on an Xbox!
Because I even feel that with the whole Batman Superman versus Civil War thing. It's like, I hate that every comment section is like, rest in peace, Batman Superman, or every Batman Superman trailer is like, rest in peace, Civil War. It's like, guys, they're both coming out.
Just
like, isn't it a cool time to be...
It's the console
like,
wars.
Yeah,
it's PlayStation versus Xbox.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
like,
who cares?
Yeah, exactly. I just think to myself, like, isn't it a cool time to be alive that, like, Batman is going to fight Superman in 2 weeks? And then 2 months later, we're going to get all the Marvel characters fighting each other.
Right. When you, like, have allegiance to things, it's like you realize that you have allegiance to this, like, billionaire Hollywood guy who has no idea you can exist. You cannot possibly fathom how this man lives his life, and you're just giving him more money. That's all it is at the very top. He has no concept of reality.
He's the guy who thought his name was Ong.
Yeah.
Like, that's that guy. You know what I mean?
Any last words on Civil War? Dom.
Let's just have fun. Like, really. Even with Batman vs. Superman. Like, just have a good time. This is fun stuff.
I agree. Think about it as, it's a good time to be alive. And also, to be honest, like, blockbusters nowadays, especially in the superhero genre, are on a quality... Like, this is what I mean by the fact that we're spoiled. They're on a quality level consistently that would have been unthinkable in the 90s. Think about 90s blockbusters, like Godzilla.
Well, that was the 90s. This is now.
Yeah. Most of these movies are good. And even when they're not great, they're, like, better than, like, what an early 2000s blockbuster was.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. We're doing all right.
We're doing all right.
It's going to be fun.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. This is TimH Films. I will link his YouTube in the comments. That's Dom Farah, as always. You just keep pushing it, you know? You just keep pushing.
Clark Kent meets Bruce Wayne!